Welcome back to BST, everybody, your favorite father-son podcast. We just got done watching an NFC North thriller. Just kidding, it wasn't that great. But we'll talk about that later. But we want to start off the show by thanking you guys. And please like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. Go check out our Twitter, our new Twitter and TikTok pages to have our short videos, clips from our actual podcast episodes. I believe we're also posting them on YouTube, so check out the shorts that we post. Yeah, I'll just give you if you don't want to watch the videos, you can see short clips of what we're talking about. But without further ado.
Put a comment on what you'd like us to talk about.
Yeah, maybe your favorite team. We can talk about your favorite team if you want.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be Packers.
But let's start with the Packers, which lost a absolutely just
disappointing,
gut-wrenching, disappointing, annoying game against the Bears. First loss against the Bears since 2018.
Almost 2 losses this year, if not for a blocked field goal.
Almost 0-6 in the division. So
yeah, the perspective on this is, effort seemed kind of bad in the first half.
Just looked like they didn't want to be there.
Catastrophic injury to Watson, more than likely.
Probably torn
Unfortunately,
ACL.
I hope not, but it didn't look good. Jordan Love bangs his elbow on his lineman's helmet.
Can't feel his hand.
So he sits out. Apparently, he could have come back in, but they rolled with Malik Willis.
He should be good to go next week against Philly.
So, Malik Willis, he definitely doesn't look like the Malik Willis of Tennessee. So
he looked pretty good.
He played well.
He was kind of big play dependent, and his receivers made a lot of plays for him.
Well, and he had a costly fumble on he just never saw the guy coming and just got obliterated. Fumbled the ball, But the Bears. I don't know if you saw this play or if you heard about this. You're at work, but they scored that touchdown to go up 20-13. Pending the extra point, and they go for 2.
Mm-hmm. I know.
They go for 2, and it's a horrible play call. Keenan Allen's probably tackled 7 yards behind the line. A flag's thrown, and it's holding on the Packers.
I know. I think
half the distance.
When I was listening to that,
it goes to the 1 yard line, and the Bears decide to just kick the extra point and take it 5 yards closer from the 30
Very
yard
interesting
distance, or from the 20. So it becomes a 25-yard kick.
Very interesting.
Instead of going for 2 from the 1 and making it a 2-score game. I mean, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
Turns out it didn't matter. We lost. But I was sitting there just like, what are they doing?
Hey.
I mean, so it was kind of weird.
It wasn't one-sided, though. Bad coaching. LaFleur, before they kicked the go-ahead field goal, the Packers. Was it 4th down? It was 4th down, 4th and 4, I think.
Yeah, 4th and 4, 50, under a minute.
He calls a timeout with like 58 seconds left.
Yeah.
The clock's running. He calls a timeout, doesn't make the Bears use one.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks at the time they're going to kick the field goal anyway.
Yeah.
But in his mind, he thinks they're going for it. So I'm like, how does the miscommunication happen that badly that LaFleur, the head coach, doesn't know the plan?
Well, and in this day and age of the NFL, 54 seconds is an eternity to get into field goal
Especially
range.
against the Packers
with one
defense.
timeout is an eternity. And so as soon as that happened and they made the field goal and there's 54 seconds left, they still had a timeout, I thought, they're going to allow them to get into field goal range.
Oh, yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. And I felt like for a split second, maybe we could block it again.
I know. I was
But I thought that was once in a...
I know. I'm like, there's no way we do it again.
5-season event for the Packers. So, in any event, we fell short. Super annoying. Jacobs didn't play the whole second half. Dobbs didn't play because he was sick. Jordan Love didn't play the second half. So, I mean, you lose to the Bears on a walk-off field goal. Feels like that should just always be a win, just with how much we've always handled the Bears. But whatever, it happened. Same song and dance in the post game. Just got to get better.
There was no plan going into the game to me.
Yeah,
it was just like, okay, You either do one of two things. You either rest all your starters, roll out the backups, whatever happens, happens. You live with it. It's like, okay, well, we lost. Well, we didn't play our starters the entire game. Whatever.
They probably should have. Yeah.
You roll them out there for a half, and you expect to go big on the Bears in one half, because the Bears have not been a good team this year. You expect to handle them in the first half with starters in.
Well, I think when you're I agree. I think they should have, looking back, they should have just rested all the starters, and just should have said, you know what, it doesn't matter if we're the 6 or the 7. We're on the road. We're not likely to get a home game as a 6, because you're not likely to play the 7 unless it's in the in the NFC Championship, and that never happens. So, whether you're the 6 or the 7, it's a road mentality anyway. So you don't care. If you're the coach, you're preaching, you don't care who you play.
Yeah.
So, you just...
That's not
you
so
just
much.
should just bend. You should have just rested everyone and not gone out and done the whole, unless you're trying to do the consecutive start streak and you start, like Josh Allen played the first series and then they handed off,
that's
whatever.
Different.
But they're not worried about that with Jordan Love. They should have just probably shut everybody down and played a backup game and just gone with it that way and just said, hey, we're going to create a bye for our starters, and done it that way. Looking back, that's exactly what they should have done. Instead, they played it like it was a real advantage to try to go play at L.A., which would have ended up being Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So, so right there, you don't know who you're going to go play. So it doesn't matter. They shouldn't have played that way. And Watson, I heard that Watson played because Dobbs sat.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I don't think Watson was a full go. So I'm just hoping whatever knee injury he has right now
is not looking good.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's not looking good, which we'll probably find out more tomorrow morning when they do more testing.
Yep.
But it was non-contact. He got carted off. I mean, it's all the makings are there for a pretty horrific knee injury.
Well,
that will end the season.
Packers are a young team. There's a lot of frustrations. We've talked about them, and we'll probably have some subsequent shows where we dive in a little bit to the frustrations of the, or where the Packers need to improve, or kind of dive into that on a later episode.
Yeah.
But they're 25-year-old average age team. The youngest team to win a Super Bowl is 32, and it was Seahawks. And I think that was back in against the Broncos. That was Russell Wilson's first one in 2014. So, that was the youngest team to win a Super Bowl at 32 years and 95 days old, which is crazy. That seems old.
I know.
For the average age, but there's a lot of experience that these Packer players are getting right now, but we just need to see improvement. We
do. And I just wish this team would have acted like they were playing a game today. And it just if we don't, the punt return was kind of fluky. Obviously, then you fumble, you give them great field position. That's pretty fluky.
Special teams was bad. Special teams was bad.
Their
ball
back.
Security was bad. Jaden Reed got the ball punched out. They're just players are getting better at doing that, and the Bears have always had players on that team that are good at punching out the ball. So ball security is a big deal, but it just came down to the same things it always comes down to, turnovers. We just had too many turnovers, and we gave up that punt return for a touchdown. I think it was the first time in 60 years that a team had the lead after the first quarter with negative yards. Really just because they scored on a punt return, and then we turned the ball over at our own 15-yard line. So they didn't have to go very far to score. And, just not great.
Hey, the Packers are going to be competing for a Super Bowl in February, maybe, hopefully. The Bears won their Super Bowl today.
Yeah.
So let's give a round of applause to all the Bears fans. Congratulations.
There we go.
You won your Super Bowl. First time since 2017. You beat the Packers. Congratulations.
Stop talking about it.
I cannot wait for your guys is just perfect off season.
Yeah.
Where you win the off season.
When Keenan Allen leaves, DJ Moore maybe leaves.
Just show me the trophy of what that looks like when you win the off season.
Yeah,
I'd like to see it. But yeah, tough one.
Bravo.
Whatever. We'll see what happens next week. I think for the Packers, next week will go one of two ways. They either roll in there down because they use these couple losses in a row to be kind of like, man, we suck. Or they use these 2 losses in a row, pissed off, they go into Philly and whoop them.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the latter, of course, but you never know in the playoffs. Crazy things happen. But moving on, just wanted to touch on a superb game from Bryce Young today. 5 total touchdowns, 251 passing yards. This is just kind of a Bryce Young appreciation segment of the podcast because he was heavily hated on just earlier this year, and since he's come back from the benching, he's played really good football.
Yeah, hopefully he has a good off season. It's a good way to head into that.
It's a great way to head into it.
A lot of positives coming out of there. Looks like their coach has got everybody in order. See who they can. Maybe they can get some free agents and. I don't know if they owe a pick to anybody this off season or what, but they're gonna still have a fairly high draft pick. They start building that team. They've got to be one of the younger ones too. So
yeah, I know.
Adam Thielen leaves, that'll bring that age down quite a bit. So.
They got a bright future.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy for him.
as much as I watched the Carolina Panthers, yeah. It was
just like all those CJ Stroud homers out there.
Yeah.
Hating on him.
Sophomore slump, we'll see. Jury's still out on both of these guys, really. So.
Hey, I don't see Bryce Young having a sophomore slump.
Bryce Young had a really bad
kidding.
rookie, though.
I'm just kidding.
He definitely looked like he's looked better this year than especially second half of the season, right, after the bench.
Yeah, and Bryce Young seems like a good dude, so I'm just happy for him.
It's a tough position, and, so it's good.
Yeah,
good
so...
game.
Moving on, like I said, ending out Sunday night was the Lions beating the Vikings 31-9 in an utter domination, which this game was hyped up as the greatest game of all time, greatest regular season game of all time. 2 14-win teams, most combined wins by 2 teams in NFL history in a matchup for the 1 seed for the division.
And I'll say, 31-9. Seems like, well, it is a blowout, right? Mm-hmm. It is a blowout, but the number of times that the Lions, absolutely, what's a good word to describe what's gone on with the defense there? Injury prone is obvious, or injured or obliterated defense.
Yeah.
They stopped the Vikings 3 times in the red zone.
Which was shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Either forced them to field goals, which all they did was they scored no touchdowns. And this might be the only game this year that the Vikings failed to score a touchdown.
I know.
And the way that teams have been scoring on Detroit, I felt like Minnesota was going to have just a hell of a day, and they had a day from hell.
It was...
Yeah.
I mean, the Niners look good against the
Lions.
Lions.
Sam Darnold got hit more in this game than he probably did all year.
Which is crazy, because the Lions hadn't been getting any pressure on anybody.
Anzalone comes back, and they just teed off at times. So they bottled up Justin Jefferson. What I think he had...
9 targets, was it?
9 targets. And
3 catches, 54 yards.
Yeah. He had, bringing it up right now, he had 3 for 54 off of 9 targets. You had Naylor had 3 for 53 off 4 targets. Aaron Jones, 5 receptions, 30 yards. He had 10 carries, 45 yards. They targeted him 6 times. He was the most consistent guy. 6 targets, 5 receptions, just on checkdowns, I'm sure. But Hawkinson, 8 targets. He had 2 catches for 9 yards. Darnold for the game was 18 of 41, 166, no touchdowns, no picks.
I think we kind of saw it today when things aren't perfect conditions for Darnold. He's a little shaky.
Darnold's had a lot of success standing back there and letting things develop in front of him, and when you get to him quick, this is what happens. So,
But I mean, that happens for a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I think the recipe for any defense success is just pressure.
but also Goff made a couple of great throws with a guy coming right in his face quick.
Yeah.
So I think
Pause.
while it is true, yeah, you give any quarterback a lot of time, that's obviously good. There's some that can get the ball out quick, and I just don't think that Darnold has been that guy to. I think he can. I think he's better when he doesn't have to get it out quick. So, but you know what? Sam Darnold's had a great season.
Taking
Great
nothing
season.
away from him.
It pains me to say that because I hate the Vikings so bad. Can't stomach them being the 1 seed. So, Detroit, being a Packer fan as long as I have, Detroit's not really been relevant in most of my Packer fandom over the last, 35 years.
Which is changing.
It's changing. In a couple years, I will hate them.
I know.
Right now, I don't really hate them.
It's like the honeymoon phase of hatred.
Yeah. I hate them when Packers play them, but they just have a lot of likable guys.
A few weeks ago, I was just hell-bent on hating Detroit. I'm like, I hate these guys. They're so cocky. And now I'm like, go Detroit.
Vikings,
please beat the Vikings.
There's just always been the hatred, and it really just stems from,
they've always played us tough.
It's always been.
They've always played us tough.
Been Vikings or Packers. The Bears, we lost today, but we still own them. But you know what? I mean, inevitably, there's going to come a time where the Bears will get better, and they will be competitive. And they beat us today, and we split the season 1-1, almost lost both. 1-5 in the division sucks. But this is kind of a crazy division year. These don't come around every year.
One of the craziest I've ever seen.
We're gonna be more competitive next year in the division. But we've got $68 million in cap space. Hopefully, Gutekunst can put that to use and get some pieces that fit. But anyway, not to go back to the Packers, but yeah, Vikings, Lions. I think the game was actually more enjoyable than the 31-9, just because the Vikings did move the ball.
It's entertaining.
14 of that was scored in the fourth quarter. So going into the fourth quarter, it was still a pretty, decent game. 17-9 going into the fourth. So I mean, it was a 1-score game. So yeah, hats off to Detroit. They did what I didn't think you could do and hold the Vikings to such a low score.
Gibbs is a freaking dog. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's a pretty good dynamic runner. So.
He's going to be on my fantasy team next year, no doubt. I'm picking him. I've already called it. I'm picking him. I'm picking Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
They would be my lead backs. But, yeah, Detroit, it's going to be interesting if they can still stop people in the playoffs. Because I know the Packers move the ball. I feel like Philly can move the ball.
Yeah.
But this is a good sign, at least.
Absolutely.
And with the bye, I'm not sure exactly how many of their players can still come back healthy, but anybody coming back
it doesn't hurt them.
Because, they're filling a lot of positions right now with practice squad level players. So if they can even get just some mid-level starters in there, be huge for Detroit.
Absolutely.
But right now, it's hard to not say they're the favorite coming out of the NFC. So if I had to choose right now, it's Detroit in the Super Bowl, probably against Kansas City. But, yeah, talking about the playoff, it's official. If you want to go through the schedule, you can, of what the matchups are and when they are. I think they were announced not too long ago.
Yeah, we had this Saturday. Looks like we're going to have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday games, which is the new development with this 7 seed.
Super wild card weekend.
Oh, yeah, baby. I guess that's what they call it, huh? So, first game's going to be on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Oh, great. Add it to the list of streaming sites.
Yeah. You got the LA Chargers at the Houston Texans.
Nice.
At 2:30 on Saturday the 11th. And then following that, at 6 p.m. on Prime Video is Pittsburgh Steelers at Baltimore Ravens.
Nice.
So that's a good Saturday matchup.
Should be interesting.
Most NFL fans are going to love this weekend.
Uh-huh.
It's great. All right, then on Sunday, January 12th, on CBS and Paramount Plus, we've got the Denver Broncos of the Buffalo Bills at 11 a.m., followed by the Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Of course, it's on when I'm at work.
At 2:30 on Fox. Might be a sick day for you.
Yeah. Cough, cough.
Yeah. And then
I hope my boss isn't watching this.
Sunday night game will be Washington Commanders at Tampa Bay Buccaneers on NBC and Peacock. And then to end Super Wildcard Weekend, we've got Monday, January 13th, we've got the Minnesota Vikings at the LA Rams.
It should be a good
6
playoff.
o'clock, ESPN, ABC, ESPN Plus.
Maybe later this week we'll release a prediction video.
There we go. We'll do a pick 'em before it.
And we'll have our brackets. Yeah, we'll probably do that. Cause I'm trying to think what sports would even be going on, like tomorrow. Yeah,
You got the college football playoff coming up on Thursday
and Friday.
So.
Man, Thursday, Friday,
Thursday,
Saturday,
Friday,
Sunday, Monday.
Wow,
You love to see it.
This is
All
great.
this football action.
It's great.
So yeah, we'll probably do a video on that. But to round out this episode, we just wanted to talk about the draft order.
We've been very critical of the New York Giants just because his little brother is a Giants fan.
Yeah, and
so it hits hard.
They fall to number 3 in the draft order.
And last week he was cheering so hard for a loss, and the Giants won. I think we covered that last week. And
it's like, come on, Giants.
And it looked like with who Philly was putting on the field that the Giants would probably go into Philly and maybe win. But
yeah, I'm
no,
like, ugh.
I think the message got passed down through the
organization.
The organization said, don't in any way win this game.
Do you like your job? Good.
Yeah. And, Malik Neighbors had a really good game still, too. Got a touchdown, long touchdown. That's about the only bright spot for the Giants. But, they secured the third pick.
So it's going to be interesting. We'll cover the draft more as it inches closer to April. But, just kind of funny. The Giants, man. Maybe it'll work out for them this year. I don't know how good the quarterbacks are. I'm kind of mixed on what I think about him, but it's just it's funny. Just insane that they do that. But also, a lot of these teams right here, you're going to see a lot of these coaches get fired tomorrow or in the next coming days. So that'll be interesting development. We'll cover those as they happen. But yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Please like, subscribe, comment.
Let us know what you'd like us to talk about.
Yeah, Twitter, TikTok, all the stuff. Go check it out.
If any of the comments say don't talk about the Packers, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's a given. Hey, we should have just added that in the title, I guess. But
Tom Grossi, quoting Tom Grossi. You don't have to be a Packer fan, but it sure does help. Quote to Tom Grossi. That's Tom Grossi's line.
Yep.
I guess that's
it. Sure does help.
We love it. We love talking about a lot of different things, though.
Yeah.
So let us.
We're
know.
open to any sport, really. I mean, is chess a sport?
I don't know.
Chess championships, whenever that is, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
This happened the last episode too. I cannot say.
Stay safe.
Wait.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
And have a great night.
Have a great night.
Goodbye.